Alright, so today's video, we're watching a Plat 4 support on console playing Ana. They say alright, so in this game we started off defending. We held up pretty well, then the enemy Sombra kept playing around in our back line. Long story short, she distracted me and our tank as well as the other support ended up dying. Then we all died. We got rolled once they swapped to Winston, and just before third point, Winston ulted and I slept him just for our Bastion and Ryan to immediately wake him up, and we lose the round. So I type in chat, thanks for waking up the Winston. My other support and tank start ripping me a new one about my heals. They were telling me I was bad and that I needed to swap off Ana because I'm not healing enough. I need to practice in quick play, etc. I know my position and wasn't all that great at times, but I tried. So all in all, were my heals really that bad? Any and all feedback is much appreciated. I mean, we'll see. Huh. Okay, I see what you're going for. Okay. There's gonna be some philosophy on this one. But I think you can do that exact same play from here. Get on a grenade, now heal your team. I mean, so far, so good. I mean, I don't see anything, like, inherently terrible right now out of you. Like, you know, I called out that one play, but even that play, like, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad play. I personally wouldn't go for it just because of, like, the off chance they have an angle where I get one shot. But, good grenade. Yeah, everything's fine so far. Like, I don't see anything inherently bad. You say they don't scope it. Are you telling them not to scope it, or are you saying they don't scope it? Because if you don't have to scope in on that if you don't want to. If you have a good aiming style on it and like you know how it works, then that's fine. This is an interesting one because like I know what you're going for. Stopping him on the point. Okay. This is where like what should happen in theory here? In this situation, when the Sombra's pushing in, these teammates need to get out. Well, why wouldn't you recommend the Ana to push in? I'll explain why. If the Ana pushes back in, the Sombra's gonna go in the back line and keep capturing the point, and eventually they'll get a tick, they'll grind your team down, and then your teammates will die. So, isn't that okay because Torb's there now? See, but here's the thing, this is how you get split. You know what happens immediately? Torb's already used their cooldown, right? So now Torb runs away, Sombra is in an advantageous spot, hits a virus on the Torb, kills the Torb, now you're down one. Now what? So the point is that this feels more of like a disconnect between your team and what they're supposed to do here. Your Reinhardt went in here shattered and had to leave. Get your teammates back to here with you, and then go for a reset, and then basically play a little bit safe. Because otherwise, eventually the Sombra's just gonna grind you down. It looks like they all fell back now, so this is good. Everything worked out. So your teammates made the correct decision going back. So it all worked out. But I wanted to show people like why that was important. The people in front end up going back rather than the two in the back go up front. That's on you. 100% heal your Bastion there. If there is a Sombra dominating your backline, all you need to do is keep them alive during their burst, and you're going to be fine. Do not sit there and try to DPS them. Heal your teammates. Your Bastion survives that Sombra does nothing. You already helped them survive the initial burst damage. Don't get distracted too easily. Okay. Yeah. I mean, this was a classic case of your team. Honestly, I'm not even gonna say your team. Like, just you and your Torb got so distracted by this Sombra that, like, even when the Sombra was in front of your team of 5, they got a bunch of kills. Like, and that's the problem I saw. Like, it's just like, you just spent so much time getting distracted that your team ends up losing because of one Sombra just in your backline that wasn't even doing much to begin with. Yep. Okay, you survived the burst. And it's on your life weaver if they don't heal you. Okay, you're good. I want to see Nano used aggressively on Ryan the moment they get up there. All right, the Sombra's on you, but remember. Okay, it happens. That's a good high noon. I have, honestly, I can't even get mad at that. Yep, you still have Nano. Now remember, this Sombra will look for you at some point, but you got to kill an Ana. All right, you're not, yep, you're worried about DPSing still. You haven't let your team settle here. Okay. Yep, there we go. Okay, so good sleep. I do want to point out, this worked out in your team's favor, but why are you isolating yourself in a 1v1 by yourself to damage them? Why you don't even look at your Reinhardt or anybody else in your team when your Life Weaver's running back from spawn? You see the problem that I'm saying here? While that worked out, you see how that could lead to inconsistency where like that's not always gonna work that way if you're the only one who can heal your team there and you're just sitting there trying to DPS a Cassidy and you have to hit a sleep on a Sombra just to barely survive. Get in the habit of like, okay, is my team okay? Yes. That's the first step. Then go the rest of the way from there, right? That's one. Okay, this is your tank is now out of position. So is your Life Weaver. If they die there, that's on them. Okay. Ryan just ulted. Yeah, what do you mean? Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. That's an EMP. This might actually go in their favor because you can't. Ooh, good tree. Try to get to the tree. Yeah, that's one of those like. That's not even on you at that point there. I mean, ideally, you're a little bit further back, but also at the same time, you have a Sombra there, so it's like, can you actually make that play efficiently? I don't know if you can. That's just a good play by them. Sometimes they just make good plays, and there's nothing you can do about it. If I'm your Life Weaver there, unless I have good position in which the Life Weaver's more kind of attached to the hip of Rhine, it is what it is. That's how I see it. Okay, so what are you going to do now? What's your play? You have the right idea. You have the right idea. Yep. Now get out. Don't stay here for too long. Don't stay. Remember, overtime spawns are about to pop. So if you... Okay, wonderful. Okay. Get out of there once you like recognize that, like, okay. Like, I saw you going for the Ana kill. I get it, right? After that point, get out of there. You stay there for too long, and that's what happens. Okay, this is the spot where you said thank you for waking the Winston. I'm going to be real with you. That had zero to do with what just happened. I look at this team fight and I go, you probably ain't winning this. Okay, this probably ain't happening. I want to see some. Okay, do you think your Rhine did that on purpose? It very much seemed like the Reinhardt was just going for a fire strike the moment they recognized the ult happened, and they were in the same animation at the same time, right? It's kind of one of those things where whenever I wake up a target, the reason why it happens is because I'm already preemptively using my ability. The point is that, you know, I don't think your team wins or loses fight based off of the sleep. At the same time, I don't think your teammates should get frustrated with that whole sequence. It feels like this is one of these like sequences that everybody got angry at each other for like zero reason. Does that make sense? Like you got mad that your teammate woke up a Winston that I think your team would have lost anyway at this point, and then they got mad at you for getting mad at them for waking up Winston. Doesn't it feel like all of this should have just never should have happened to begin with? I feel like this is, and you're typing it right here, and like I just feel like this is one of these situations where I think all of this could have been avoided because like it I don't know. 0-3. Let's go to the next part of the question now. They were getting really mad at your healing. I don't necessarily think you've been playing bad from a healing point of view. This is more of a classic case of they are on a way different page than you are, or vice versa. If the Reinhardt and their team is constantly going up here to solo shatter 4 people behind a wall and not follow up, and the only person with them is the Life Weaver, where are you going to be able to build up those heals? Right? And I think that's what it is. It's more of like the lack of, you're not playing the way that the Rhine wants the team to play. And when that happens, that's how you're going to lose a little bit of those heals, because your Reinhardt spends the majority of the time, you know, going around walls to shatter 4 people. You're going to miss out on probably 1,000 healing from all that damage from the other team into the Rhine, etc., because you're not there. But that's not, you shouldn't have to be there as Ana, because that's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very, very unique situation, to say the least. If your team is getting heated because of a Winston being woken up, that's the problem in itself. Right? Like, y'all were playing fine. They had a good play. They snowballed you on 3rd. They woke up a Winston, and then here we are, right? And also your honor grenades are not missing. Okay, so okay, you know this play reminds me of that whole sequence. It's one of those rare cases where everybody just tilted each other, and instead of just like throwing and like sitting back and arguing, they all just got really angry and ran into the team and just did all these individual plays, and it worked. You clearly just went in there like, would I recommend that? Absolutely not. But did it work? Yup, and I'm not even gonna go. That's where I'm at. That was the definition of a tilt play across the board. It worked for everybody, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Like your whole team played that way.
You need to learn to relax. You need to learn to relax. You need to learn to relax. You need to learn to relax.
Imagine having that voice line while your teammates are having discussions or arguing with each other. They just start yelling at you and you just spam that voice line. It just piss them off even more. I feel like that would piss him off even more. I mean, your position actually wasn't too bad here because, like, they were all looking for you and you kind of made a good play. But that was pretty good. I don't mind you going for this Arista because you know they're one shot. Okay, next time, shoot and then grenade. Do not grenade and then shoot. You almost got rolled there because of that sequence.
I appreciate the support. I've got you.
Okay. What's your plan here? All right. Good sleep. Remember positioning, by the way. Okay, thankfully the Mercy just dropped down in the middle of your team. I think your Bastion... Did your Bastion fall off, or do they do damage themselves? I can check in a second. Ooh, nice Juno ult. That's asleep. That's certainly... If someone went through that window, they would have been pissed. What is happening right now? Does this other team not understand the ult economy? Okay. This is what I mean, by the way. Didn't Valk used to be more obvious? From, like, the animation around the wings? I was just talking about this recently. Where I didn't even realize the Mercy was Valk until I saw them going for the res and knew they were Valken. But, like, they changed something with the animation recently with Valk, right? Here we go. Oop, nice sleep. It's okay to shoot and then use your honor grenade. You'll have, like, a really good timing. Rather than honor grenade than shoot. Informationals, thanks for the 4 months of the Futures Sponsor. Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks. You hit somebody with the honor grenade. I would have liked to see it a little bit to the left, but it is what it is. You Juno. Good job. You have honor grenade. Oh, you're gonna have a good honor grenade here because they're gonna be backing up. You actually managed to miss that, which honestly is impressive because I do that sometimes and you just go, wow. It was more impressive that you miss your honor grenade than hit it. I mean, this is a great attack by your team. Now, it was funny because remember how I talked about at the beginning of, like, the Spectating VOD? I'm like, the pace that they're playing at, I wouldn't recommend it as Ana. Meanwhile, you did that the rest of the way and dominated. So, like, listen, it ended up working out where, like, rather than just sit back and hope their Reinhardt or, like, your tank makes an adjustment, you just adjusted with them, and it kind of worked out, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, this actually hasn't been that bad. See if you play your defense better, because last time, once again, your Reinhardt was playing really aggro, so. Are y'all still typing to each other? Like, why is everybody just sitting here? Why are y'all still... You just had a 4.5 minute attack, unless you... Ugh.
I've got you.
Unlucky. Wait for it. Alright, that was asleep. Yeah, good honor grenade. Prevent them from pushing in. So far, so good. Someone behind on your Torb. I think your Torb just hammered the Wrecking Ball. That was the first thing I expected to see. I definitely didn't expect to see the Torb die on the kill feed. I expected to see the Torb hammered the Wrecking Ball. That was exactly what I expected. What rank is this? I think it's plat. Okay. Same strategy, y'all just going in. And that's just a Bastion hitting shots. Good job keeping your Juno alive. Remember, they're still low next to you. Don't be afraid to, like, honor grenade right down on your feet to heal you and the Juno. Okay. I was just surprised you didn't want to use it on yourself in the corner after I've seen you use honor grenade when you take 3 damage. Maybe you had used it, like, a little bit sooner than that, and I missed it. Okay. Everything's fine here. I mean, this is a more, as long as your team doesn't just run in one by one over and over again for the next 3 minutes, you probably should win this game. Good start by killing there. Nope, position. That, by the way, just a little side note here. You have the support passive. Be careful of, like, running in here, like, into, like, where all the damages happen when you're that low. That's how you fall over immediately. Good sleep, by the way. On the burst. Scoped in? I mean, listen, if they don't want to scope in, I'm not going to tell them to scope in. Like, yeah, scoping in is going to be really good at range, but if they can projectile aim, they can projectile aim, right? It's not, you know, I try to do a balance of both scope in and unscope, depending on the situation where my position is, but yeah, I don't know. Ended up being a dub. It was glad to see that your teammates were able to come together and win the game rather than struggle a little bit in certain situations there. I was very happy to see that. Let's go back to what was talked about here. You were talking about the scoreboard. You were talking about this. You were talking about like that, like a bunch of different stuff. One, I don't think that they looking at your healing stats should have been the play by them with the way that they were playing playstyle-wise. Playstyle-wise, you weren't going to be able to get as much healing as they were doing. They were playing behind walls. It was really hard to do. Also, your Winston getting woken up was not the reason why you lost that team fight. I would have just looked at it and went, damn, unlucky. They snowballed us on third. Not, oh, thanks for waking up the Winston. Should they have reacted that way? No. I think it just was one of those things where it ended up being like, I just think people got angry over like stuff in game that was just a good play by the other team. So yeah, the healing was fine. You know, I think once you played at the same pace as your teammates, it was good. It just feels like, doesn't that feel like it's one of those arguments that like the team probably, like there was zero reason for their team to have those arguments? That was an interesting one. So I think you played okay. Lot to work on with like, you know, your positioning, your sleeps, like you said. Don't get distracted so much. But you'll definitely climb if you keep doing that, for sure. And I wouldn't worry about like the healing stat in that one in the first half. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to all 3 YouTubes if you haven't, leave a comment, all of that helps. If you want to submit your own spectator, look in the description below, you'll see my Discord, that's where you do that. We also record these live on stream. You can see the Twitch app below the webcam, I'll stream on YouTube, stop by, we have a lot of fun here. With that being said, I hope you have an amazing day /night.